Hello, everyone who isn't here for this, because there is no one here for this wonderful
I am
game.
here because I want you to play test my game afterwards.
Okay, yes, but also, you're kind of required to be here.
Chase is.
Hey, isn't Chase supposed to be here?
Oh, and maybe he's a little late. He has like a class right before.
Okay, cool. So, this is an introduction, a brief introduction on the crusade that is playtesting. Shit, I skipped 2 slides.
Recording.
I am recording.
God damn.
Alright, so, does anyone know what playtesting is, or what they think playtesting is?
Isn't that when you kidnap someone to play your game?
Yes. Partially.
Is this where we try to get this person to play our game so we can learn about our game?
Yes. Cool.
Explain what playtesting is, please. I don't know.
What is playtesting? Help us, Victor.
We'll go over that. But first, why do we play this?
Why do you wait? How do you know why to playtesting? We don't even know what we're playtesting.
Okay, playtesting, you're basically getting someone to play the game for you so you can figure out, so you can have like a demonstration of what your game is, and you can find out things that you would find out when someone's playing the game. So, the reason why we playtest is closely related to what playtest is. So, the reason why we play playtest is because your game sucks and it's broken for now. Yeah, that's why you playtest, so you don't have a broken game. Players are very random, and they will do everything you don't want them to do. And there's a near guaranteed chance that you did not prepare for this, especially if you're a first-time designer. Also, having multiple opinions on aspects of your game is important, because something you find fun might not actually be fun to someone else, and something that someone else finds fun might not be fun for you. And sometimes a dumb idea becomes a great one, because it was. And a general tip is, if you don't know, if you're unsure about anything in your game, playtest it. That way you can find out whether or not people like it. And if they like it, keep it. And if they don't, don't. When do you playtest? Literally whenever you can. Yes, literally whenever you can. The sooner you playtest, the sooner you can find mistakes. The sooner you find mistakes, the sooner you can fix them. The sooner you fix mistakes, the sooner you will hate yourself less in the future. Or your future self will hate your past self a lot less. So your problems don't compound and become absolutely horrendous. Playtest whenever you can. If you see someone who doesn't have anything to do in the room, grab them. Yeah. Ask for permission, then kidnap them. Okay, so I've kidnapped someone. What do? Well, you should know what you want to focus on this session. Focusing on knowing what you're focusing on for a session helps you better prioritize your playtesting, make it more efficient. So you're actually getting more out of the playtest than you would if you were just going like, here's the game, play it. So if you know what you're looking for, you're going to get more information out of it. Don't say anything to your testers. Let them go into this blind. And even if they are doing things completely incorrectly, don't tell them that they're doing it wrong.
Okay, actual question. If you're not telling your testers what to do, and you're focusing on something that they should be doing, and you don't get any data from that, how do you get data if they don't like running into?
I was going to go on that.
Okay.
But to answer your question, when I mean don't tell about anything, it's just like you don't tell your players what they're supposed to do. If you have a tutorial level, and you want to test that, you can say like that's when you don't want to tell them how to use any of the controls. However, if you have a specific level, and let's say you already tested your playtest level, your tutorial level, and you know that it works, and it teaches all the mechanics that you need to. So you want to playtest something else now in order to get the most out of your session. If it's a new player, you can tell them what the controls are, and then like tell them, hey, this is how you play. It's WSD space, and then you send them on their way to play the game. Oftentimes, when you're playtesting as well, you could ask for them to say their thought process out loud, so you know what they're thinking, and as a result, you can then better change your level or your design of your game in order to help lead them in the direction you want them to. Does that answer your question,
Yeah.
Johan?
So what happens when you don't know what to focus on in the session? What if it's literally your first playtest and you don't have anything particular that you feel like, needs focus on?
That's just that would be a basic playtest, which I will go right here. So some basic things that if you don't really have something specific you want to test out, if it's your first playtest, be prepared for that playtest to not give as much information as you would like it to, but just keep. But it will be the playtest. The knowledge you get from that playtest will be more general, more like, hey, do people like my game? Is this game a good idea? And then you could go a little bit deeper, like what parts of the game do they like? What parts of the game do they not like? Later on, when you do have a mechanic you want to test or something specific, you're asking the questions: does this do what you want it to do? Do the players react this way? Do the players use it in this right way? Is it easy for them to learn it and understand what to do with it? You do have to be ready for the players to use it in something completely in a way that you don't expect it to be used. And at that point you have two options. If you think it's a good idea, you can keep it. If you think it's a bad idea, you can try to fix it. But do note that sometimes good things come out of good things come out of accidents, essentially. There is also I do want to note that you should be open-minded when playing because of the previous statement that I said earlier, but also you have to have tough skin. Your players will criticize what you made, and they will complain, and you just have to be able to shoulder that. During a playtest, do not ever, and this is a problem with me, do not ever talk back to them, defending or to defend your design decisions. That that gives the player a bias, and as a result, it makes your playtest less effective because the information you have is just not pure and unfiltered. Also, do note that player criticism doesn't mean you don't have to accept player criticism. Oftentimes, players will try to make something less fun in order to make it more efficient. For example, in literally any grinding game ever, they try to find the most efficient way of doing something, and as a result, it gets boring, and that's how burnout happens. So your job as a designer is to keep the players from harming themselves or ruining their own experience, because players will do that. So when you are actually playtesting, there are a couple of things you need to be aware of. You should always be able to see the screen of the player, so the computer screen, and the face of them, preferably both at the same time. If not, you can always have one. You can always have one person look at it and another playtest. One person who's playtesting. One person. You have two. You'll get two people to. You get another person to help you. One of you looks at the screen. The other one looks at the player. The reason you want to do this is to know exactly, to be able to read the playtester's emotions and reactions to things, and able to see what exactly they're reacting to. This is extremely important if you're testing something specific, like a mechanic or like a certain event. If you want them to react in the right way, then you can only really tell that if they reacted in that right way if you're looking at both the player's face and the screen and what they're doing at the time. Always take notes. Notes are important. Memory only lasts so long, paper lasts a little bit longer. Some good notes you can take is basically, did they react the way they did they react the way that you expected them to? Did they like something? Did they not like something? What did they like? What did they not like? Okay, so you know what to play test, you know when to play test, you know why you want to play test, you know how to play test, but who do you want to grab to play test? As our dear previous design director Ryan and Ward has said before, you as a designer you don't have friends, you have potential play testers. I will leave it at that. Now we get a play test. Yay!
Yay!
And I'm gonna stop the stream here because